If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.
The other one that you might have in mind?
Yeah, I think what it does is it takes you away from having to look at number one as it, by itself, so to speak. What you're really looking at, like you said, is a combination of 1, 20, 33, and even going more to 65 and 82. All of a sudden, it becomes a little bit more of a balancing act because you have so many more picks. And there's even possibilities we could trade up or trade down. We could lose some of those picks, or we could even pick up more picks. So I don't know that it takes the pressure off the number one pick. I mean, there's such a financial commitment to that number one pick. There's always going to be emphasis on that position, but I think it does, from a talent standpoint, it does give you other places to address other needs.
What would you like to come out of those five with? If you stay with the five, what type of positions, wherever they're going to be, do you like to go with those five?
I'd rather not hit that right now and to play our hand, so to speak. We have a lot of needs, and it may be hard to identify five for us. I'll just let me leave it at that.
As a defensive-oriented coach, is it tempting to think about the possibility of Sims, Peterson, Curry? Think about the teams that have great linebackers. When you see the possibility of those, because he's a possibility, what would that be like?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, that's, and I think when you look at great defenses in the NFL, I think all of them in common have that great middle linebacker, and I think that's where we see Aaron Curry, particularly in the fourth. Yeah, and particularly in some of the schemes that we'll play. It's hard to run away from the middle linebacker. It's hard to take him out of a play. If you have a guy lined up on the weak side or the strong side or the left or the right, the offense can take that guy out of a game plan, so to speak. If you have a great corner that's a shutdown corner, well, you don't have to throw that way. When you have a middle linebacker, the interior of your line, your linebacker, your middle linebacker, your defensive tackles, your safeties, they're in the play just about every time. So I think that's if you can get a dominating player in there, that's a big thing for your defense.
Do you think he could play on the edge?
Oh, he can do just about anything, and he has done it at Wake Forest. I don't know that I've ever seen a guy that's played so many different positions at Wake Forest. He plays old-time Sam linebacker. I'm talking Carl Banks Sam linebacker, the old-time guy that you don't see anymore.
Right.
He can. That's a 4-3 outside linebacker. He has a skill set to play 3-4 outside linebacker. He's roughly 6'2". He's 255 pounds. He runs 4.5, low 4.5. They put him on the tight end. They also put him over the slot. When you have slot situations, they put him over the slot. That's something that you see a strong safety do.
Right.
And they use him in that regard in their scheme. When they go to nickel, they use him as a middle linebacker. They blitz him. They drop him in coverage. They cover man-to-man. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen such a multi-dimensional linebacker.
But you'd use him in the middle? Let's say he was a
right, and our scheme will probably base out of a 4-3. We'll run some 3-4 principles with it, but we'll base out of a 4-3. And in that regard, I said
he's smart enough.
But he could play anywhere. I mean,
he's smart enough to pick it all up too. You think if you wanted to experiment with him?
No doubt. That's been I don't want to say a pleasant surprise, but that's been something that's come out of all our, having conversations with him at the combine. We brought him in to check up his physical into Detroit.
Right.
We were able to talk to him a little bit more there. What jumps out at you, number one, really, really fine young man. Number two, really, really smart. The people there are really, really proud of him. I used really, really too many times.
They've always had good people.
If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.